Hi again. So this is the second of the videos on setting up pulley systems. The first one was the Z drag, and this one we're going to do a pig rig. So we've got a rope coming from the boat, but this isn't going to have the pulley system within it. What we're going to use this for is a brake, and we're going to take this rope, well, one of two methods. We can take it around the tree just as it is and use that as a brake. Put it down. I'll bring it down. Thank you. And now the rope is, we just hold this and it acts as a brake. So an alternative to going around the tree, and if I'm in a venue where I'm just practicing this, I really don't want to run the rope around the tree because it marks the tree. If it's a one-off rescue, I'm not so concerned about the bar. I'm just going to do it within that context. But here we've got a sling attached. We looked at that in the first video. Now I'll put a carabiner on, and this has got a very wide section here. And for this particular brake knot that I'm going to use, that needs to be big and wide. And what I'm going to tie is an Italian hitch. So if you can tie a clove hitch, at this point you would put one behind the other, and that's a clove hitch. When that fastens, that's not going to move, and we do use that quite a bit within canoeing, or at least I do. But if you can tie that, you can tie an Italian hitch. So instead of passing them behind each other, I fold them like this, and I keep my fingers there. And this is an Italian hitch. Now what happens with this is that I can pull it through, but if I try to pull back the other direction, I can hold it with ease. So Maya can pull the rope through, and she's going to hold on really tight now because I'm going to try and pull it back. You hold him really tight?
Yes.
Right, you pull in, pull it in. So Maya can pull it in. Right, hold tight, Maya. But if I really lean back on this, you can actually hold me. Yeah?
I feel nothing.
You feel nothing?
Nothing.
So could you hold the boat? I think so. So we're going to go back to having the rope around the tree, and that would be my first preference. So as the rope is pulled upwards from the boat, as it's pulled this way, you can take in here and the whole tree becomes a brake drum. If I need more friction, I can actually move it across here. I can even fasten it off if needed. So as before, I'm going to put a front prusset on. So what I'm going to rig up now is a pulley system on the back of this one, and that's the pig rig. Now there are a number of ways of doing it, and I'll show two major ways of doing it. So first of all, I'm going to do it with a throw bag, and I'm going to hang the throw bag from this carabiner. So let's put the pulley here. The pulley's give me that little bit more efficiency. Put that into there. And that is just dangling. Take the main rope back. And it's going to clip to here, but there's no pulley on this. Come forward again. Another pulley, but this time I'm going to clip to the bottom of that. And what I've got now is a 4-to-1 pulley system. So as I pull in, Maya's going to pull. So here we go. Maya, you need to pull.
Yeah.
Not. That's it. Pull, pull. It is hard. Keep pulling. Now I'm running out of room on this. Rather than reset, I can get perhaps one more partial pull. Move that forwards. And some people call this a roving 4-to-1. It's because you can move this. Try again. Pull in tight, Maya. And now, so now Maya's holding this. Hold tight. Bring it around the tree more to hold it. Try and keep feet off the rope if you can. Now there's no strain on this. It's been held by Maya. I can move this back forwards. You ready to pull, Maya? Right, pull. And we can go again. Hold tight. I can reset. I can go again. Keep pulling. And as Maya holds it, and she's the brake. Are you a good brake? Yeah, very good. Then I can move this forward and I can do it again. So here we have a reel pin on the lower Twerin, and the 4-to-1 rig is already set up. You can see here clearly the whole rope is around the tree and the pulley system is on the back of it. Alan's smiling because his boat's come off. It's swung clear and downstream. And in the final photograph, what's happened is that we've stripped the pig rig off and we've actually lowered the boat slightly, the friction of the tree, so we can get it into an eddy and get everything sorted out. Just as a little aside, as an alternative to pulleys, you can get these climbing carabiners, which are called revolvers, and they've got a little pulley built into this top edge up here. So again, that would give you slightly more efficiency. I always tend to worry because I've got all this stuff around water and stuff corrodes. It's not going to affect the safety, but this begins to lose efficiency. But there's a lot of my colleagues who actually like this system of carabiner instead of carrying pulleys. So, an alternative to using a throw bag or even any other piece of rope to do that job, and pulleys, I can use my tape. Now, I normally have one in my buoyancy aid, I will have another one, other people have stuff. So I'm just going to put my big wide-gated carabiner in here, like so, for the wide ends at the top. Now what I'm going to do, instead of hanging my throw bag from here, I'm going to hang my tape and its carabiner. I'm going to go back through this carabiner, put the tape into here, I'm actually going to move this further forward. Are you ready to pull in, Maya? Both hands? Yeah. Right. So now I've got the tape running exactly the same as before. I can pull in Maya, pull. Hold it, Maya. I can now again move this back. Have a second go. And if necessary, while Maya's holding tight, the boat's here now, but I can also move this down to get more room. And nowadays, to be honest, this is my preferred method. Some people think it's more efficient than using pulleys and rope, but I've not seen any evidence to that. I like it, it feels about the same, but I haven't actually seen any figures that tell me that's the case. Sometimes none of these pulley systems will actually shift the boat. And there is one way of increasing the force on that. With a Z drag, you would have to fasten it off. With the pig rig, you can actually tie it off up here now and then strip everything from it. My best way of tying it off will be to actually go round and round and round the tree. And in fact, it's a no knot. It's just the amount of friction there, nothing's going to shift. So I'm going to do that. Keeping it all the way round, Maya. If I go around the tree enough times, then actually I don't need to do anything else. But this is quite awkward here, so what I'm going to do, that should hold it, but just to make sure, some half hitches, which will just finish it off. So we've got two anchors. Maya's one anchor, I'm the other anchor. And so if I would do it in terms of weight rather than forces, not technically correct, but it's easier for my brain to understand. If I put 10 kilos weight on here, then Maya's going to be holding 5, and I'm going to be holding 5. Because the ropes are running pretty well parallel, we've just split the weight. Now, as we move apart, there's a magic angle. And the magic angle, hold tight Maya, is about there. 120 degrees in this arc. And if I put 10 kilos on here, it now is 10 kilos here and 10 kilos here. If we actually take it straighter than that, 10 kilos on here is now magnified at either end. And by mathematics, hold tight, one of Maya's favourite subjects, as long as it's not long division. Right, if this was perfectly straight, which it is not, yeah, we're not strong enough between us to make it perfectly straight, try. It's still not perfectly straight. If I put 10 kilos on here, and you can see there's flex immediately, but if I put 10 kilos on here, the math says it's going to be infinite at each end. And that's going to break anything we've got. And it's not going to be the truth of the situation, there will be a slight bend. So we can use that to magnify the force on the boat by putting a vector on it 90 degrees to the original rope, which is already taut. Thank you, Maya. So I would have got this as taut as I could, fasten it off. Now, in a lot of cases, all I'm going to do is actually use my hands to pull that. But if I use this, I can clip on. I'll use something that's very strong. Come here, Maya. No, you're not. And we're going to pull it right angles. Right, you ready? Right, and we pull now. And about here, we've lost the efficiency, but there may have been enough to move the boat off the rocks. But there is a problem. So, one of the problems with doing this, there is another really big danger. Even just putting on a 4-to-1 or a 3-to-1 rig here and putting a lot of tension in it, particularly if you've got 3 or 4 of you pulling, you can put an immense force on all the knots, all the ropes, how it's attached to the boat. And if something snaps, this rope is going to be incredibly taut. Now, a lot of us played with wet tea towels as kids and slapped or got slapped by our father or whatever with a wet tea towel, and that stung. This has got metal work, it's a rope, and it's going to have even more power in it. This has got the power to demolish your face, break bones, the lot. Chunks of metal work down there, so you want to be really careful. If you think there's any danger, we need to dampen this rope, and you're going to really increase the chance of it snapping or something within the system snapping when you put a vector pull on, because you're magnifying the force again. And in which case you really don't want anybody at all on this line, because this is the main line of what's going to go. But it's something to be wary of. And if you're at all concerned, then you need to dampen this rope. You can do it with spare clothing, buoyancy aids if you're not near the river. You could just loop another throw bag over the top of it in a series of laps all along the length of it. And then in the event, and I would do this as far along as I could, but in the event of this snapping, it's going to stop that whiplash and give everybody a chance. If it does break for any reason and you're stood in this line, it is really dangerous. I've never seen it myself, but I know two lots of people that have had it happen. One of them, the metalwork flew back, actually hit somebody's helmet and cracked the helmet. If it hit the face, it would have done a lot of damage. So treat that very carefully, make sure that everything's secure. If you think there's any chance of it, particularly on a vector pull, get out of the line of the braking rope, get to the side, don't let anybody stand up here. Here's a real example from the Ardèche River in the south of France. This is an abandoned sit-on-top, and the instructors in another group are just trying to get it off as a bit of a challenge. They've already tried various pulley systems which run from the boat up to the tree on the left. Didn't work. They tensioned the rope and then started using a vector pull to increase the load, and that began to shift the boat. At this point, you've really lost efficiency, but the boat is coming off, and it did indeed. Chuffed to bits they were. If you've enjoyed this video, please click on the like button. If you'd like to subscribe, please click on the icon in the bottom right corner.